Hi, everyone. This is Kate Byers, founder of Corporate Unleashed. We are talking today in our next episode of Thriving in Chaos about preventing burnout. Wow, if there's ever a time that we would all feel burnout, it's right now, correct? So our environments have massively changed. The boundaries and the protocols and the systems and all the great things that you've put together have changed massively, right? So all of these things have changed. And now here we are talking about preventing burnout. Okay, well, the first thing is obviously it needs to be a goal. And if you're someone who is a high achiever, if you're someone who typically is the person who is driving success in your life and in your career, you're probably already pretty prone to burnout because you have two switches. You have off and you have on. And on feels good. On feels great. In fact, for a lot of us right now, we would rather be working than at home. My husband showed me this funny, I don't know if it was a meme or a video or something this morning where they were interviewing people on the street, and this guy was asked, I'm going to give you two options. Option A is you could be home quarantined full time with your wife or kids. And the guy goes, B. He didn't even wait for option B. He's like, B. So we're all feeling it, right? It is not easy to not have a lot of personal space, to not have a lot of downtime to think, to still be held accountable for some pretty tough goals and deadlines. The environment is constantly shifting at work, wherever you're at, whether you're on the front lines or whether you're managing in a crisis scenario, or whether you're just trying to keep, things going in a whole new direction based on what's happening to our global economy. It's a lot, right? And so if you're someone who is the Energizer Bunny and you love your work and that just is what jazzes you, your comfy space, your comfort zone is going to be work at all costs. And for a lot of us high achievers, that has been our comfy space for way too long. Because the way we were taught to create success was work comes first and you can play later. Okay. And so if that's what you believe, that story is in your head, now we're taking that story and we're sprinkling like, gasoline on the fire. And so now it's like, not only do you have to do your work, but maybe you're also doing all the work around the house or all the work with making sure the children are getting what they need for, their education now that schools are closed. And then you're maybe caring for, trying to check in on elderly relatives or I don't know, and so what's going to happen is you're just going to start juggling more. You're just going to add more balls to the plate, more balls to the in the air, and you're juggling. And because that is your comfort zone, that's how you create control and security for yourself. That's what's going to happen. And of course, what happens when we add more and more and more? I mean, even the greatest weightlifter at some point has to drop the weight, right? And so what's going to happen is we're going to crash. And then we crash and burn. And that happens in a variety of different ways. It comes with, stress eating. It comes with drinking. It comes with sleeping. It comes with not sleeping, having insomnia or anxiety attacks in the middle of the night. Because at some point your body says, I can't do this anymore. And you become numb. It's like, this is what we see a lot with some of the clients we work with. They're like, I don't want to walk away from my career and my lifestyle, but I just don't know if I care anymore. And the reason we get to that point of just not caring is because we've so overextended ourselves and we've starved ourselves from getting our needs met. And what's really interesting is that when I was going through my own period of burnout, I did not understand how to use my time. A lot of the techniques that you hear out there are really not sustainable long-term, because what will happen is the solution is we just need better time management. And what we have found over and over and over again, and this was certainly my case, the minute I had time, I didn't use it well. And so even if I had 5 minutes or I had 5 hours, I was doing things with that time that was not actually helping me feel rested and sustained and fulfilled and excited about my life. It was literally zoning out in front of the TV, driving around town, trying to take care of errands and things that I felt were overdue on my to-do list. Like, how fulfilling is that? Cleaning out the cobwebs of my house, because I'd been wanting to do that for months or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like washing my car. Why am I washing my car? Like it can go another month without being washed or whatever. So what happens is a lot of times is when we do have time away from our work and we give ourselves that space, we're not making good use of it because we don't actually know what's going on that's that we need to be doing to meet a need. And you guys have probably felt this before. Like, have you ever, like my husband used to tell me every now and then, like on Saturdays, he'd say, hey, you want me to take the kids out and you can get caught up on some work? And I'd be like, no, don't do that. Because I would feel guilty. Like, no, I need to be mothering. I want to be with my children. And so I would tell him, no, I would stay with the kids. I'd play with them. I'd, make the pancakes, whatever I was doing on Saturday morning, but then I'd be resentful and I'd be irritable. I'd be distracted because what I really needed to do was work, but I didn't give myself that space to work. Or maybe what I really needed to do was go for a run and have everybody out of the house for an hour because I needed time to myself, but I wouldn't give it to myself. And so this happens a lot because we've created this culture where success is only supposed to be this certain way. And we have a lot of shoulds. So when you're not working, you should be doing this and you should be doing that. And so what happens is, even though you should work out, okay, that's a should, right? I should be working out. So you go to the gym and you force yourself to work out and you do the workout, or, now you can't even go to the gym. So you're trying to do it off the end of your bed, sit-ups and push-ups off the edge of your bed or whatever you're doing, if you have a home gym, hopefully. And it just doesn't feel great because it still is not meeting the need that's going unmet. And I'm not saying you shouldn't be healthy. Like, we're huge health buffs in our house. You should be working out every day and you should be doing things to clear your mind. But the point being is, like, when my husband would say, hey, do you want me to take the kids and go, out on a Saturday so you can have some time to work or to have some time to yourself, I was not in touch in knowing what I needed. Because sometimes you need to go out and have your kids, whatever, like my husband would take them out. What I needed was autonomy and some time to myself. Other times what I needed was connection. And I was like, no, you know what? I know I've worked a lot this week and I know I have more work to do. I need that connection need. And so what happens is this becomes a pressure cooker for burnout, because if your needs aren't getting met over time, what happens is then your stress level increases. As your stress level increases, then you move into anxiety. And at some point you just move into, like, let's just say a mild state of depression where you just don't care anymore, because at some point, if your needs are not biologically and psychologically getting met, you just sort of give up because your body's like, obviously this isn't working. We don't know how to survive and thrive. So your body just starts to shut down. And that's where we get into those, I feel like I'm going to break at any minute. And then you just start to not care anymore. And then we make these huge sweeping decisions to leave our careers, or, to divorce our partners, or to put our children, in different schools or whatever, because what we're really not doing is meeting our needs. And this is such a huge thing. I'll have to do another broadcast on time management, because this is the key. It's never about having more time. It's knowing what to do with that time that is actually going to meet your need, both short-term and long-term. And this was pivotal. Once, my husband's actually the one who figured this out, but as we were studying and researching, how is it that a couple that has so much goodness in our life, like we have achieved what you're supposed to achieve, how is it that we're unfulfilled and unhappy? Like, is this what it's all for? The minute we understood what our biological and psychological needs are, our human needs, and I'm not talking about Maslow's and I'm not talking about buckets or anything like that, actual human needs, it was like, oh my God, that's what I need to be doing with my time. And then it just became like this chemistry set of like, what did you need to pour in each day? Sometimes you need a little bit more autonomy. Sometimes you need a little bit more health. Sometimes you need a little bit more connection. So what I would encourage you to do right now in this time of intense difference, where everything in your life has changed and now you are in a new environment and a new world reality for now, is to start paying attention to what it is you really think you need. And you don't need to do the laundry. That's a use of our language that's incorrect. I am feeling like it's time to do the laundry so that we have clean clothes for tomorrow. So be careful in the languaging too, because a lot of times we say we need things that aren't really needs. But the point being is looking around and saying, what is it that I'm really feeling right now, right? Getting in touch with that. And this is the biggest, I think, block also for high achievers, is we are not in touch with our feelings. When my husband and I first started, we fixed the whole career conundrum. Once we figured out like, oh, we can have really powerful careers and we can have like a lot of like abundance in our personal life and really, do the things we want to do and not feel like our careers impeding on our private life or vice versa. Once we figured that out, we had to actually figure out how to get along. It's like, oh, now we're around each other more. we have to get along at a whole new level because we weren't just two ships passing in the night, both with our busy active careers. It was like, oh my God, we're under one roof and we're actually cohabiting in a whole new way. So one of the things we had to learn was how to talk more about our needs. And for me, especially as a high achiever, I had no idea how to do that because I grew up in a family where that kind of communication just didn't happen. Like that was something that got shoved under the rug. So that's the other thing I think in this environment right now, where if you've got, friends, family, kiddos, everybody's under one roof, being more vocal about what your needs are, you've got to get in tune with them and figure out, what do I really need right now? Do I need some alone space, or am I really, really missing having some kiddo time? Or do I really need to get my health need met? Like I have not, gotten off my butt in 3 days. I've been sitting at my computer and I've, haven't even left my computer. Maybe it's exercise that you need, or health, or, something, a mental space. So getting in touch with that right now and communicating it among the family is super, super key. So if you don't know what your needs are, you can't communicate it. If you're not used to communicating it, like I wasn't, you're going to have a hard time telling everyone else. And then what's going to happen is you are going to be the mule, the pack horse that takes on all your own stuff and takes on everybody else's stuff in the house. And because you're a high achiever, you're going to run around and try to make sure everybody else is getting what they need. And you're going to try to take care of everything yourself. And you're not going to communicate, hey, look, I need some help cohabitating here. I need some help creating a new version of success for all of us under one roof. And then you're going to burn out. And that's where the burnout comes in. It's always, people always look for, and I did this myself. People always look for these external measures like, I've got a crummy boss, or, my company's going through the stressful time. And yes, those things matter, obviously. It's wonderful to work with people you love. It's wonderful to work for a company that's strong and thriving. But, life is going to happen. We're going to have to work with difficult people, especially at this level in our career. We're going to be working for companies that are going to go through stress and restructuring and challenges. But if you're thriving through that, if your cup is full, if you feel fulfilled, then those things are simply hiccups in the road. They're just, this is what happens. Like life has this stuff. There's not this shiny, glowing moment. And I didn't know this because I looked for it. I kept looking, where's that place that you live where, there's just rainbows and unicorns? And it doesn't exist. But that doesn't mean that there's not a place where you live where you get out of bed every day and go, oh my God, this is my life. This is amazing. Because that's what it is now, for myself and for our clients, is like, can you believe this is your life? Can you believe you have this level of control over your time and over your impact and over your personal life? Can you believe that you can move in and out, the cabin that way? And so when I talk about boundaries, I usually talk about boundaries in the way of, are you creating a boundary so you can get a need met? Because that's something we can do all throughout the day, even when you're pinned to your computer, even when you are faced with some pretty brutal, work challenges or challenges at home, even when the kids are screaming outside your door, even when your spouse doesn't understand how difficult your position is compared to theirs, and all the things that we're all experiencing right now, right? Is when you understand how to get your needs met, then the boundary isn't, I need 3 hours to go live my personal life. It's, what need do I need to get met right now? How much time can I create to get that need met? And what action do I need to take in the allotted time that I have right now? And when you're doing that all throughout your day, and you're doing that all throughout your week, and you're communicating that and creating that ecosystem around you and with your family and with your employees and your teams, life gets juicy. I mean, it just gets like, wow, I'm cooking. This is great. And it doesn't mean, guys, that right now we don't all have some fear, or we don't have like moments of like, whoa, okay, what's the latest news? What's going on now? It's okay to feel that. But again, that's just, hey, what's my need right now? I need a few minutes to process this. I need a few minutes to, have an emotion to be sad or to be scared or to feel anxious for a moment. That's great. But then we create that space for that and we move on. And I don't want to get off topic here, but the way that we create boundaries now isn't some hard and fast boundary, because, we have clients that we work with who, they're like, I get off every day at 3:00, or I get off, I'll take, weekends off, or I'll take vacations. I don't know what to do with myself. I spend half my vacation sleeping and the other half, not really feeling great about what I'm doing. Or I'll take a Saturday off and it was okay. It was off, but I don't know if it's really helping me. If I'm really feeling better, I still feel burned out when I go back to work on Monday. It's not about more time. And you hear this a lot with parenting, with your kids, like, oh, it's not about more time. It's about quality time. That is what it's about. It's about quality time. And again, I'm not saying it's not great to have a whole week off and take vacation, or I'm not saying you shouldn't take 6 weeks and go live in the Mediterranean or whatever it is that you want to do. Those are all wonderful, wonderful things. I'm saying they're not the cure. Believe me, I tried, right? Because when I burned out, I went and lived on an island. How hard could that be? And all of this followed me because I didn't know how to meet my needs. And I made such a huge shift, obviously in who I was, that, I really lost, a big piece of who I was and the things that I lost the good stuff with the bad stuff. Let's just put it that way. Right. So I wanted to keep the gold and ditch the cage, and I ditched all of it. And that's not what we want either. So in this really trying time, guys, I just want you to know, I hope that these messages are helpful. I hope they're inspiring. I hope they're getting you to look at the situation differently. Once you start living a needs-based life under a needs-based philosophy, great, huge doors open for you and opportunities and possibilities, and you just start to feel like you're in flow. That's what it feels like. This just feels like flow. Okay, I'm going through my life. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. There's no hard and fast pacing, running to hit deadlines, often on black and white, hitting those walls. It's just like, oh, you know what? I better do this because I see a wall coming. And if I don't jet over here, I'm going to hit it. And we hit those walls with parenting. We hit those walls in our marriages. We hit those walls in our career. If you don't know what to look for, and if you don't know how to meet your needs, then you're going to crash into them. And then that's when we've taken and elevated things to a crisis level. It's a lot harder to solve when you're in that crisis level than if you're just preventing it all along. So I hope this has been helpful for you guys. If you have any questions, please post it in the comments below. We're happy to come back and answer that. I'm happy to come back and chat with you. We can leave you some links to some other trainings and things that we have could be helpful to you. I hope you are staying well. I hope you're staying safe. And most of all, I hope you're meeting your needs. Again, I'm Kate Byers. It's been great talking with you today.